Back in 2018, Bradley Cooper released his first directorial debut, A Star Is Born, which was really much just a remake of the classic tale that has been remade countless times before. The version of the film was absolutely incredible. I loved A Star Is Born. It was one of my favorite films of that year. And now in 2023, we have his follow-up movie, his sophomore effort, Maestro, which very much is the love story that chronicles the lifelong relationship of conductor-composer Leonard Bernstein and actress Felicia Bernstien. Just to kind of put a little bit of context out there, I didn't know anything about Bernstein going in here. I knew who he was, I knew the name, and I did not know anything about Felicia as well. I didn't even really know what the film was going to be overall about. I just know it starred Bradley Cooper, Carrie Mulligan, and again, it was directed and written by Bradley Cooper. And if you've seen the thumbnail, you've seen the title, Maestro is just another absolute great movie from Bradley Cooper. In fact, I would say this is a staggering step up from his last outing as a director. In some ways, that is actually quite surprising to me because when I saw the initial clips and trailer, I wasn't really that taken back by it. Honestly, just screamed Oscar bait for me, and I honestly didn't know how to feel about it. I honestly kept putting off watching it. I missed my screener. I was just like, you know what, I'll watch it when it gets home. Voting season is right around the corner. The film was playing in theaters, and I went and saw it. And yeah, I'm really happy that I did. She found it was funny. I was easily the youngest person in that theater, but this is a movie that screams for the love of sake how much Bradley Cooper loves this industry and how much he loves filmmaking. Because honestly, for the first 45 minutes, it seems like he was just absolutely trying to show off and how brilliantly paced that he can make this movie. In certain ways of how he actually directed those first 40 minutes, I was just like, what is going on here? Even after that first 40 minutes, when it really jumps into the back half of the story and switches from black and white to color, that is where the meat and potatoes of this entire story really takes place, and I'm very excited to talk about Maestro today. With that said, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, as well as leave your thoughts down below. How excited are you to see Maestro? Are you a fan of Bradley Cooper's first film, A Star Is Born? Did you think it was a little bit overrated? Let me know down below. And what do you want to see Bradley Cooper direct next? I really like this kind of series of dramas that he's been doing. And starting with every movie review, you know I like talking about the pros first, and flat out, the first thing I want to mention is just Carrie Mulligan in here. For a film that I didn't think I was going to get emotionally, into, I was really taken back and actually in tears from one of her final moments and monologues in here. The way that her posture is in so many different sequences, specifically one sequence that pertains to both of them arguing on Thanksgiving Day, was probably one of my favorite sequences in the entire film. But I also love how she holds herself up, and I like how the film chronicles this entire love story per se, but Carrie Mulligan, every single time, from the second she's on screen, you instantly fall in love with her, just how it kind of seemed that Leonard had done all the way up into the finale of the movie. And I think, again, when we're looking at for your consideration and Oscar prospects and talking about those choices, I would be very shocked to see Carrie Mulligan not get nominated for an Oscar this year for the film. And I think there's even an argument to be made that she should win. She wouldn't be my personal pick, but I think she does absolutely deserve to be nominated. And of course, there is Bradley Cooper, who is not just one of the stars of the movie, he wrote and directed the movie, which we're going to talk about the writing and the directing in a second. I honestly want to focus on his performance. Now, I know there's been some controversies about the makeup and certain things like that. I'm not going to talk on that. I'm just going to mostly look at what Bradley Cooper did and his transformation into Leonard Bernstein. So I don't know much about Leonard, but I definitely went and looked up some certain things, his conducting, all sorts of things like that, interviews, how he would talk, and it's actually really scary how damn good Cooper is in here. Now, I've thought he's just been an incredible actor ever since I saw him in The Hangover. I know that's a comedy, but ever since then, I've just been a fan of him. And every little role he shows up in, he's just great. And every dramatic role that he's jumped into, American Hustle, Silver Linings Playbook, which up to this point I thought was his best performance. Then I saw Maestro and I thought, no, this is his best performance. Because just like Carrie Mulligan, her posture and how she becomes into the role of Felicia, I really look at Bradley Cooper and he gets all the mannerisms down, but it's also the voice that he does such a scary good job impersonating. I mean, for a majority of the movie, I completely forgot that it was even Bradley Cooper. You sit there and you see him speak in his dialect and talk and move and the conducting sequences. It's just that word staggering that I mentioned, that this is a staggering up forth in direction, it's the same thing when it comes down to his performance. It's a staggering performance that, again, does also deserve to be nominated. And Best Actor is kind of the one that I'm so disgruntled on. I don't know who should be nominated and who should win, because there's been so many countless incredible performances this year. But if Bradley Cooper were to finally win his first Oscar as an actor in this film, I would be okay with it. I think I'm still pulling for Cillian Murphy from Oppenheimer, but again, would not be pissed if Cooper won. Again, he truly transforms into Leonard in every possible way, and I was really taken back, again, by his performance. Like, there's certain sequences that I'm just reliving in my head and how he was there. And one in particular that maybe you've heard of is the conducting sequence, which is, I think, like a 6-minute sequence where he's conducting this giant orchestra, and there's these opera singers going about, and the whole way that the camera is moving to his whole conducting style just gave me goosebumps. And speaking about the camera style, the movements, all the choices of the film, the directing and writing in this is incredible. I think overall this is a better directed film and even a better written film than A Star is Born. I think there were some nuances that were a little bit front-facing inside A Star is Born that maybe were just a little over the head, especially on just kind of on rewatches. But Maestro is kind of one of those movies that I'm not going to lie, I expected to be bored watching. I expected to like it and appreciate it for what it was, but not come out passionately excited to rewatch it again. And I came out passionately and excited to rewatch this movie because I thought it was just brilliant in almost every way. And specifically all the directing and writing choices that Bradley Cooper decided to put into here, you can really see. Especially the shot choices. The shot choices in here, like the cinematography is exquisite, but there's certain shot choices in the way that they'll have a camera just linger, like a fly on the wall, to where you can really feel like you are there. And that's one thing that some people will find this movie to be slow, some will find it to be boring. Actually, one of the parts that I was going into this film thinking I was probably going to have, but every moment, every sequence, every storyline, every plot device, I just continued to be intrigued with following. And again, those shot choices and those lingering moments, specifically after the first 40 minutes, because the first 40 minutes is kind of this like Hollywood love story, black and white, rose-tinted glasses, all this excitement, just kind of how when you get into a relationship. And then that 40 minutes hits and it's like, boom, no, this is the actual relationship all these years later. And what's been kind of going on there. And again, both performances are great because they're able to really elevate these moments. But it's that directing and where Bradley Cooper would center a camera on and linger on a moment and linger on these two, just playing the characters that they are, to where it really does feel lived in and naturalistic, where I feel that many films nowadays, when it comes down to arguments or when it comes down to moments like this, it never wants to settle for those smaller moments, and it never wants to settle the camera there to linger and let the atmosphere carry forth the scene as well. But Cooper is able to do that, and there are actually some very interesting aspects in here that feel very early Spielberg. Not saying that Bradley Cooper's as great as Spielberg, because that would be stupid for me to say, but I really think that some stylistic choices feel early Spielberg, and you can very much, again, feel Bradley Cooper's influences on that. Bradley Cooper, I honestly think you're a fucking genius. Maestro is incredible, intimate, naturalistic, and a cinematic experience that you should absolutely try to see in theaters. If you can't, it will be worth the wait when you get to see it on Netflix. Cooper transforms into an awe-inspiring performance that only blew me away, and Mulligan is spectacular and brought me to tears. Honestly, overall, I'm going to give Maestro an A+. One that I really wasn't that excited about, and, you know, I didn't have any issues. I just kind of watched the movie and I just felt taken back by this entire thing and felt like I was transported into what Cooper was trying to tell me. Not everyone will feel that same way. I will absolutely 100% understand. I've had some great conversations with people who did not like the movie, and honestly, their opinions I can understand. So if you're one of those people who didn't like it, please share your thoughts down below. Thank you so much again for watching this, and of course, until next time, stay classy.